When a man comes home from work, there's only one thing he really wants. He wants to have a little bit of peace and quiet. And if you have something you want to discuss with him and all day you've been waiting for him to finally come home, please wait a little bit. Because there's one thing many women don't understand about men. Men are supposed to solve problems. All day and every day they have to go out into the world and do their best to make money, because otherwise they're being seen as a loser. But men also get tired, and if they just go from problems at work to problems at home, they never get a break.
Yeah, and then they have no reason to actually make a home with a woman. Guys, I swear, in so many of these videos that you see, women will sit here and they will ramble on and on about all the things that men need to do. But what these women fail to realize is that they are just gigantic headaches a lot of the times to men, and so men will refuse to date them and have families with them. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another video, and on today's episode, women have realized what men have wanted in dating, or have they? So speaking of have they, I'm going to continue into a clip here. You know, that first one, it was just to bait you guys, right? Because it came across as pleasant. She was actually saying the right things, but I've done the old switch, okay? Because here we have the next one of a female dating coach, and this is how to get into a man's head. Now, we will resume the clip that I played at the beginning later in today's episode, but we are going to be starting off with this one. So guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Subscribe if you like getting headaches, and let's jump right into it.
How to get in a guy's head. How to make him freaking obsessed with you. Now, I don't know if you're going to want to do this, because they are going to be all over you. There will be no more chasing needed by your end. They're going to be wrapped around your little finger. Number one, text him his name and then don't answer. None. Done. We're ghost. We're gone. There is no response after that. He is going to be first kind of freaking out, kind of shitting himself, but then he's going to get into like, oh crap, I really want to know what she like wants to say, whatever, and be so invested in you and in that conversation for as long as you don't answer.
Yeah, okay, let me just bring you back to reality here for a second, woman, okay? What's actually going to happen is the dude is going to see that, and then he's just going to reply to it maybe, but he's just going to ignore you. If you don't say anything, what's the point of him stressing out? Guys, I have said this many times, but I really do think that these women just overblow their own importance to men. So this is a dating coach, right, who's trying to teach women how to make men chase you, right? Previously, you were chasing this man, and now your solution is to send him his name and then ignore him. The dude is probably going to see the message, go, that's weird, and then just continue to do whatever the hell he's doing. This is, you know, women applying women logic to men, and it doesn't really work out too well from my understanding. But go ahead, keep playing your dating games. Don't actually be a woman that men want to date. Just try and manipulate them. Great strategy.
Himself, but then he's gonna get into like, oh crap, I really want to know what she like wants to say, whatever, and be so invested in you and in that conversation for as long as you don't answer. And then once it is a couple hours, and when I say a couple, I mean about 4 to 5 hours later, then you can say, oh crap, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so your advice is to just be annoying. You see, this is why, aside from the divorce laws and things like this is why dudes don't want to marry modern women, right? Your solution to try and get a man to like you is to essentially just be annoying. Yeah, I wonder why the men aren't chasing you. I wonder why you're out here trying to give advice. By the way, a lot of these women who make these dating advice accounts, I actually wouldn't have any problem with it if the advice was actually good. I don't really care. If people want to go out there and be dating coaches and help people be successful and find their significant other, I wouldn't really have a problem with it if they actually lived in reality. But some of the crap that's just being thrown around is so damn delusional. In order to get a man to like you, you need to play this manipulative little game that he's probably not going to give a crap about, and then you need to follow it up by trying to annoy him. Genius. Marketing genius, guys.
4 to 5 hours later, then you can say, oh crap, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. He will be wondering about it for days.
No,
Number
he
two,
won't.
hold eye contact with him. It makes him so nervous and it creates like this sex drive and it'll make him want you even more. It'll make him start that obsession with you. But you have to keep the eye contact like very strong and very not weird and awkward, but just like you're actually looking at him and you're looking directly into his eyes.
This woman's such a weirdo, man. Just be normal. That's all we want. You don't need to try and like stare into the depths of our soul, okay? Just relax. It's not that complicated. Guys, the funny part about these videos is you've got to consider that women out here giving this dating advice, receiving this dating advice. Videos like this are very, very popular. But you have to keep in mind that dating is not hard for women. It is very, very easy. You know what you need to do as a woman in dating? Exist. Don't be someone who's a giant pain in the ass. Don't eat a ton of McDonald's and you'll be fine. And yet for some reason we have female dating coaches who are they're just being weird. You don't need to be, have super strong eye contact with the man, okay? A lot of guys don't really care if the girl is shy and can't hold eye contact. In fact, it's probably better if the woman's just not staring into your soul the whole damn time. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we overcomplicating this? Just be normal. Just be a healthy, normal individual. That's all you have to do as a woman. Now, as a dude, things are a little bit different these days. The requirements from men are a little bit higher, shall we say. But for women, really not that hard. Let's continue.
My favorite thing in the world is telling a man that you don't know if he's your type. You're still kind of figuring it out. Now, this will make him want to be your type. This will make him want to figure out what your type is and be that person for you. And he's going to be invested into thinking everything that you want from him, and he's about to do that. Because men can't lose, and now it's a game to him. And last but not least, tell him that you feel safe with him. Guys love to be in their masculine era, and if you tell him that you feel safe with him, then he will be in that masculine era, and that is exactly how he wants to feel with a woman.
Yeah, I'm going to throw up in my mouth, okay? All of these, like, manipulation strategies and things like this, all of these different strategies, to lo and behold, still end up single. But let's continue into actually some sensible advice. We'll continue on to this woman that I played at the beginning of today's episode. So maybe she will have a little bit more common sense. I think she did. Let's jump into the full clip here. And again, guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments on some of these things. Oftentimes you guys pick up some of the nonsense that I miss. So let's jump in.
When a man comes home from work, there's only one thing he really wants. He wants to have a little bit of peace and quiet.
True.
And if you have something you want to discuss with him and all day you've been waiting for him to finally come home, please wait a little bit. Because there's one thing many women don't understand about men. Men are supposed to solve problems all day and every day. They have to go out into the world and do their best to make money, because otherwise they're being seen as a loser.
Yeah, of course, right? Here's the thing. You're not a dude who's attractive. You don't have money. You're essentially just invisible, right? One of the two, okay? So the thing that gets me about these clips, man, I always ask myself the question, this is great advice, okay? It really is. Just don't annoy the guy. Give him a little bit of space, kind of thing. Be his peace, I guess, is the phrase. Good advice, honestly. My question is, what is the relationship status of this woman? Because I have noticed a lot of women get on the internet and they'll just start repeating the things that they hear men say, but they don't actually believe it. And oftentimes they're just divorced women, who have turned around to become dating coaches or TikTok gurus or whatever. And they might say something that makes sense, but whether or not they actually do it and whether or not they are married or have a very successful long-term relationship is a completely different question. Now, the reason why I don't hold men to the same standard is because marriage is a scam for men, right? If you have some dude and he's out here giving dating advice and things like this, I won't hold it against that man if he's not married, because he might just not want to risk all of his assets, which I think is perhaps a good decision. Let's keep going.
Money, because otherwise they're being seen as a loser. But men also get tired, and if they just go from problems at work to problems at home, they never get a break. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't share any problems with him, but what you could do as a woman is to wait at the door, give him a kiss, ask him how his day was, let him unwind, prepare him a drink, and start talking to him after half an hour. When you do that, you make him feel better about himself, because you give him space to relax and to just think of nothing if he wants to.
That is honestly great advice, guys. You would be surprised right? I'll give credit where it's due. Okay, that is some great advice. I think if women were to actually implement that, they would probably have a lot better relationships than they currently do. I recently saw, like, I think it was like an Instagram reel or something I saw recently, where a woman was essentially checking on her husband, and it was like she was his supervisor or something, man. She would just give the guy no peace whatsoever. He tries to explain how he's feeling, bad mistake, and then she just doesn't give a damn and just walks all over him and then screws off. You know, like there's none of this kind of allow the dude space, maybe make him a drink of something. That's an insult to modern women, guys. Have you ever tried to suggest to a modern woman that perhaps a man might be interested in having like a piece of food or a hot drink or something like this? They will treat it like the biggest insult known to man, guys. I've actually seen videos where women will do nice things for men and they just get roasted in the comments for it. And I'm like, of course none of you have any relationships. Of course you're in 57 different situationships. Mind you, guys, at the same time, a man being expected to provide everything is the bare minimum, of course.
Because the last thing you want is to bombard him at the door already with everything that's been happening and that you need his help, and he will probably try to solve it for you. But the only reason is that he wants to get it over with so that you are finally quiet.
I mean, I'd say that's pretty accurate, man. I would actually say that's pretty accurate. Now, I do always have my concerns when it comes to these sorts of videos, because oftentimes I think that the women you know, not the best examples themselves of actually implementing the things that they say. But you know what? Shout out to that woman for actually giving some correct advice. You know, guys, really getting in the Christmas spirit. Not all of these clips are completely horrible. Let's continue into this next one. This is more dating advice from women. We will see whether or not it's actually any good. Let's take a listen.
Those who cheat will always say these things. Have you ever been cheated on? Would it have been nice if you saw it coming? The good news is women who cheat will often give themselves away with passive little clues. So watch out for these signs. Number 1, she often says, I wouldn't consider that cheating, I guess. If she has some pretty thin lines drawn in the sand, be sure that she's going to rationalize any of her behaviors that she's going to engage in when you're not around.
You know, guys, I think it's far better to just look at what people do rather than what they say. I think so many modern women, they actually won't fall for the trap of saying something like this because they know, like, they're trying to manipulate the guy from the start. I think you can just tell by the individual's actions, particularly the way that modern women present themselves online, right? If you go to her Instagram page and there's a bunch of bikini photos, I mean, you can pretty much just call it there. It is, you know, it is what it is. Complete waste of time. I think dudes, you know, they want to look for all these very, very specific signs. The woman has to say this phrase and that phrase, but you're better off just steering clear of the women who are honestly crazy seeming from the beginning anyway. You know, you go to her Instagram and it's just nothing but dudes and bikini photos, and I would draw the line at like even one bikini photo, man. Like, again, you've got to understand, this is what they're showing to complete strangers. You know, oftentimes men who will visit their profile, and these are the same women that will try and make you wait for a date and pay for everything and provide and protect. Meanwhile, she's showing herself, you know, immodestly to a bunch of random strangers on the internet. So yeah, I would probably draw the line well before the woman even says crap like this, to be honest with you.
Thin lines drawn in the sand, be sure that she's going to rationalize any of her behaviors that she's going to engage in when you're not around. Number 2, my day was fine. Suddenly, you no longer talk and she pushes you away when you ask how she's doing. She likely doesn't want to share it with you because she could be sharing it with someone else already.
I mean, I think that these clips, man, are just basically generated by ChatGPT or something, you know? They're not exactly wrong, I guess, but all right. Interesting. Let's continue on to the next clip that we have here today. This is a woman in a Tesla, guys, and she's going to be giving us some dating advice. Okay, so this is for dudes, apparently. This will be good. Women giving dating advice to men is always just real questionable at best. Here is the easiest way to make a girl obsessed with you. I can imagine, guys, the majority of dudes watching this video are like, I really don't care, but let's just see how bad she can make the advice. You know what I mean? Let's take a listen.
This is the easiest way to make a girl obsessed with you. And if you want to learn more cheat codes to dating women, then I suggest you hit that follow button so that you can see more videos like this.
I mean, not particularly.
This tactic is so simple, but most guys won't do it because it seems a little bold at first, but if you do it right, you will leave her thinking about you for the rest of the day. And all it is a 5-minute check-in call.
Oh, it's over, guys. It is so over. Okay, so apparently the way to get a woman obsessed with you is to do a 5-minute check-in call with her each day, maybe, you know? So let's just say a woman is, you know, she's not romantically interested in you, but you want her to be romantically interested. Don't worry, guys. Just give her a phone call for 5 minutes a day. Just check in, see how her day is doing. Holy hell, this is stupid. You know what this is going to do? You're essentially just giving away your attention and your validation for nothing. The woman is not going to respect you at all, right? Now she has a phone buddy. Great. Absolutely fantastic. And also, she's probably not even going to like the calls if she's not interested in you in the first place. She's going to be like, why the hell is this guy trying to keep calling me? You know what? Screw it. I'll take the free attention, I guess. I just went over to Chad's house. He still doesn't want a relationship with me, but we had bedroom intimacy. But you know what? At least I have Tom over here who's giving me my 5-minute daily calls. So now I have a shoulder to cry on. This is so stupid. I don't think that men should be giving away their time, attention, and validation to people who are not interested in them. Guys, that could be a woman. That could be, I don't know, a customer, a business prospect or something. Why are men encouraged to give away their resources, time, and attention to things that are not interested in them, trying to make things work that shouldn't be working? I'm not going to have 5-minute check-in calls with you. This is stupid. This is so stupid, guys.
It seems a little bold at first, but if you do it right, you will leave her thinking about you for the rest of the day.
Yeah, guys, you just have to do it right. Okay, let me explain what doing it right means. Be attractive and be someone that the woman is interested in anyway before you have the calls. Ergo, making them useless anyway. Like, it's so silly.
And all it is a 5-minute check-in call. Try to find a time that she likely won't be busy and keep it super casual and super brief.
Yeah, so most of these women are not busy, let's be honest. They're on their phones 24/7. I mean, even when they're working their jobs, okay? She gets a notification, she'll be checking it in the break room within like 2 minutes, okay? Women are oftentimes, especially modern day women, not very busy. So I don't know why the hell we have to plan around her schedule for this call, by the way. Again, guys, the woman could be in the middle of doing some incredibly difficult task. If the man who's very attractive to her calls, she will stop immediately and she will answer the phone. So, but don't worry, guys, we have to work around her busy modern day woman's schedule, and we have to keep it super casual and super brief, apparently.
And all you have to do is give her a call and say something like, hey, I just caught a little break in my schedule and I was thinking about you, so I thought that I'd check in and see how your day is going.
This has to be a joke. This is like a speed run, guys. This is like you're playing an any% speed run game, okay? And you're like, how quickly can I get this woman to friend zone me? I've had this perspective for quite some time, guys, but I really do think that men, when they do crap like this, they're essentially just doing it to themselves, right? When you give your attention, time, validation, etc. to women who are not interested in you, they will eat that up all day. You'll become their friends. Oh yeah, you'll become their friends, but they're not going to be interested in you. And then they're going to pretend to be shocked that you were interested in them at all. Right? Oh, I can't believe it. I thought he's just a friend. Meanwhile, they know the whole time you're interested in them, but they just want to continue having the 5-minute phone calls, right? They love to receive the attention for free. Crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. I don't think that men or women should be doing this, by the way. This is kind of like this is the male equivalent of a woman who's giving her body to a dude for no commitment. You know, I would say that's incredibly stupid. And I think it's incredibly stupid for dudes to go out here and give their validation and attention to women who don't deserve it. You know, it's not even a gendered thing, really. It's just that people just love to give themselves to people who are not actually interested in reciprocating whatsoever. I think the whole thing's stupid. I really do. I think men do the friend zone thing to themselves, and I think women do the whole no commitment, but I slept with him 37 times thing to themselves, you know?
After she shares, you can briefly tell her about your day and then wrap it up with, well, I've got to run, but I hope you have a great rest of your day. And then leave it at that. This is gold, especially in the early stages of dating. Because by doing this, you're giving her just enough to let her know that you've been thinking about her, but yet keeping it brief enough that you will have her thinking about you for the rest of the day.
Okay, so this is someone that you're apparently dating. I mean, I guess this makes more sense than it being a woman that you're trying to... Wait, but we started this video by trying to get the woman obsessed with you. Right, here is the easiest way to make a girl obsessed with you, but we're already dating the woman. Okay, so what's the point of the 5-minute check-in calls then? Because if we've already established that the woman is interested in us, why are we periodically checking in on her? You know, especially if we're trying to do it to make her obsessed. Like, surely if we were going to check in on her, we would do it for a reason, not just to try and make the woman obsessed. You know, like maybe she said she had like this super important thing on or whatever. Then it would probably, I don't know, she's going to see her family for Christmas or something. That would make more sense checking in then. But we're just doing it to make the woman obsessed with us, even though we're already dating her. Guys, I'm telling you, dating advice from modern women probably shouldn't be listened to, especially the ones in Teslas. Let's continue on to the next clip here. I think we have seen this individual before. You know, guys, there's something about this camera angle that I remember distinctly for some reason. This is a woman who is on her way to her first date. Now, I believe this is a New York City woman, so you can already imagine how this is going to go. It looks like we're in our 30s already, off to a great start here. But this is a woman who's on her way to her first date. So let's see how she's doing. Let's check in.
My way to a first date. We matched on Hinge. I know nothing besides he's good looking and Christian.
Yes, so the perfect, you see, guys, this is what women do, man, right? If attractive, check. Okay, she'll meet up with you. Christian, oh, even better, he might be a guy who's very caring and very giving. Maybe I can get married to him and sucker him for his resources. Guys, I've actually noticed this. I don't like to bring up religion too much on the channel, but I've actually noticed that a lot of women like to prey on dudes who are religious or who go to things like charity events, because they understand that these men are likely to have, you know, they want to get married, or they have values of giving and sharing and things like this. And so modern women like to think that they can just sneak their way into marriage when they're 31 years of age because the dude is Christian, you know? So I think if you're a guy and you're perhaps Christian inclined, or you're a very giving man, you know, you go to charity things and stuff, please understand that women are going to these places and actively hunting for you, even though it's not a good deal, shall I say, for you.
This is what I'm wearing, and I'm very excited. I'm actually not nervous. I feel like I used to think first dates were so scary, but then I realized that I'm confident in who I am, and it's really just getting to know someone. And
yeah, guys, she was really concerned and shy about first dates, but then she had 3,700 of them, so it's not so bad anymore. What a shocker.
exciting if you want to be around them again. So there's no nerves. I'm really hungry.
Oh no. Oh no. I'll
That
speak,
did not
woman.
go well.
What a shocker. What a shocker, guys. It did not go well. Oh boy. Did he understand what kind of individual you were already? Let's take a listen. Went great. Oh, speak, woman. I'm skipping the sighing. I can't handle it.
Very handsome, very attractive, very successful. But I feel like I was just like talked at for the last 2 hours. The dinner was great, but I was just like talked at.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel watching your videos. Isn't that ironic, guys? So apparently the date went bad. He was a super attractive man. He was Christian, very successful, right? Ticking all of the boxes, perhaps his long-term commitment. But he talked too much, apparently, and it felt like she was being talked at. You know, that's funny, guys, because that reminds me of a similar experience that I'm having right now as I view this woman's TikTok video. Isn't that crazy? You know, I think a lot of these times when we see videos such as this, what is more likely happened is that the dude was basically not interested in her, so she has to make up a reason and try and find a fault in him so that she can explain it to TikTok. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, this very well could be the case. He could talk too much. But usually what I think happens is the women actually do get rejected, and then they have to backwards rationalize a reason why they, quote unquote, were the ones to reject him so that they don't look so bad. Okay, because if she, you know, she has, again, guys, rule number one of these TikTok videos for modern day women is you have to make yourself appear as though you are the victim. Okay?
Okay, not compatible. On to the next.
On to the next one. I wonder how many more she has of these, guys. You know, she said on to the next about 3,500 different times, but it doesn't seem to be working out too well. But let's continue on to the next clip here. Okay, so this is one from the woman that we played at the start of today's episode, but this is a different one, and she's going to teach us how to get calls or texts the day after you've had a first date. So let's see if she can keep up the good advice like she gave previously. Let's take a listen.
He doesn't call or text the day after you've had a first date with him. Next. If he asks you to split the bill on date night. Next. If he says he has to cancel a date because he's busy, but he doesn't immediately reschedule. Obviously next.
Okay, right. So we were good in the first half. So let's check this out for a second. So the woman said, you know, be his peace, make him a hot drink, right? But if he asks you to split the bill, then you should go immediately next. What do we think about this one, guys? Because apparently it seems like we are giving traditional behavior to the man. We're not being a pain in the ass. But apparently if he asks to split the bill, he has to go. So we are assuming that she's giving traditional behavior if the first clip is anything to go on. And so you have to next the guy if he offers to split the bill on the first date. What do you guys think? I'm a little bit torn on this one because I think I'm not really, you know, if the woman's offering traditional behavior, doesn't really bother me so much being traditional. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would have a huge, why the hell would you pay for a woman's entire date when she's essentially a modern day woman? But if she's actually a woman who's, you know, normal and who's not a giant pain in the ass and she's traditional, like she cooks you food and things like this, no issues or complaints there from me, to be honest. Now, the thing is, we're nexting him for this, though. So we're completely discarding the man because he because he offered to split the bill with you this time, right? Because he's saying, do you want to go 50-50 on the bill? And apparently we have to next the guy. Again, guys, this is where I think it's really important. I would love to see whether or not this woman is married or not. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see this woman's relationship status, because this leads into gold digger territory very, very quickly, where, hey, if the man's not providing for you, we're going to throw you out. So just by the way, you know, my follow-up question would be, okay, if the woman refuses to cook us dinner, can I throw her out? Can I next her? You know, so if she says, hey, do you want to go out and get, I don't know, some junk food tonight because I don't feel like cooking? So am I allowed to throw that woman out now, for example? Like, I'm just interested to see whether or not this kind of behavior goes both ways, because typically it doesn't.
Next. If he says he has to cancel a date because he's busy, but he doesn't immediately reschedule, obviously next. If he tells you he's not looking for anything serious right now, but he really likes you and he would love to date you, next.
Okay, that does make sense. You know, the dude only wants to have bedroom fun with you. You should probably next him. Makes sense.
If he doesn't offer to get you home safely after a date, next.
Okay, these are a lot of little demands that are stacking up here now, right? So again, women want all of this traditional behavior, guys. They really do. You know, he has to offer to drive her home safely. He has to pay for everything. He has to do so on and so forth. And again, I don't think a lot of guys necessarily have issues with these behaviors as long as it's fair, right? As long as okay, can we say, for example, that the woman should have a body count of 0 before she gets treated traditionally, or are we going to have issues on that? Again, I don't think a lot of guys actually have issues with being traditional and taking care of women. There are a lot of guys who want a family. I think the main concern that dudes have is it actually going to be fair, or does he have to date a woman who's been with 37 different dudes who's going to treat him like trash and disrespect him the whole time? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, again, if you're demanding these traditional behaviors from men, you can demand whatever the hell you want, but you better ensure that you are a traditional woman in order to actually receive them in return.
If he complains to you about dating and that it's so difficult nowadays to find a good woman because all women are just after a man's money, next.
I mean, a lot of them are, to be fair. You know, like a lot of modern day dating for men and women is incredibly different. Women oftentimes suffer in dating because they have all of these options, but they're absolutely terrible at picking ones that will actually commit to them. Men suffer in dating because nobody, for the most part, wants to date them, and the average man is completely invisible. And also, the average quality of the average modern woman isn't exactly all that appealing either, to be honest with you. You have to do so much more in modern day dating for a woman who is so much less quality than, quite frankly, they used to be. You see what I'm saying?
If he gets angry with you because you didn't reply to his text message immediately, next. If you've planned a trip together and he's not offering to pay your part of the trip, next.
Okay, so now we've moved on from paying for dates, and the dude has to pay for your portion of the trip as well. You know, guys, again, really demanding a lot here from men. I'm wondering if the modern women can shape up, because I am really quite skeptical. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Do you think that this woman here gives some good advice, or do you think that she's just another money-hungry modern woman in disguise? Let me know down in the comments, guys. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.